Okay, so now this ship is stable. I've decided, though, that instead of just going ahead and continuing to disassemble this base, what I'm going to do is actually go get more uranium. Because after last time, after all those reloads I ended up having to do because of ships running out of uranium and crashing, I really want us to be safe on power. And I know that we're kind of alright on power when it comes to our batteries. They're probably in trouble right now because I don't think we have enough solar panels to actually keep everything going hunky-dory. Let's see. Oh well, our batteries are doing alright. In one of the updates, batteries should now current input. Yes, its current input is finally greater than current output. Barely. Oh, well, never mind. It's... okay, it's dancing all over the place, but basically batteries should now be second in tier, so solar panels will actually charge them instead of them downing themselves. What we might want to think about doing, though, is actually just taking... we can't remove the batteries because, of course, their components get scrapped, but we might want to think about going ahead and just taking solar panels and starting to install them up there in sort of a solar panel array that would stretch out over everything. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and get more uranium first, just in case we end up in spot of bother where, well, basically we don't want to end up running out of power completely again. Before we do that, though, I am going to go ahead and switch around the remote control thing so we're not upside down whenever we're switching between the two things. If I can remember where I installed the remote control block. I seem to remember... oh no, where the heck did I put it? Ah, there it is, this control box. I was like, I remember it was in a big control box, I can't find it. I heard like a psh there for a second. It was creeping me out. I was like, I don't know, is there... no, I don't know. That was a very weird thing. Anyway, that looks like the room. That's the antenna. Don't want to damage that. This is probably the open space for the antenna. Yep, and this will be the remote control block. Cool. So I'll cut into here, and all we got to do is flip this remote control block over, really. It will mean we're going to have to reset up our controls and stuff, but it's like 3 different buttons we got to change, and that's it. Let's weld up that cargo container because we nicked it a bit. That. Cool. We might also want to think about putting in more thrusters before we head out. I think the amount of thrusters we have now is decent enough for when we're just rotating around while still facing pretty much downwards while mining. But we might want to put in a few more just to make sure that when we flip back over, what we run into recently doesn't happen again. So let's go ahead, put that remote control block back in there. Now let's see, do we have it on a hotbar? I don't see it. It's probably there somewhere. I'm just missing it, but we'll just go ahead and put it down there again. Cool, and then remote control, yep, that's facing the right way, and there we go. Now it should be the right way up. Awesome. Interesting, though, the sounds do still seem like they're a bit unequal in the game, unfortunately. As you probably heard there when I placed that in there, there's that loud click. Probably get the same thing when I place these in here. Yep, that loud when you place these, but of course welding them, you can barely hear that. It's like a whisper in the distance, even to me, so you might not be able to hear it at all on YouTube, depending on how my sound levels come out. So yeah, that should, anyway, change how we were dealing with things there. Let's hop back in our cockpit, go ahead and remove that down at the bottom, and we're just going to go ahead and find, well, let's just connect here, that way it's not such a cluster frack there. And control, oh, oops, this whole ship just tried to lock itself again. There, control button, there we go. So I'll press that and it'll give us control, and then we need to go ahead and grab that group. Toggle those on and off, and then we also need the camera. Awesome, so now we're back the way we were. Unfortunately, we are going to have to flip that camera over as well because of the silly manner I set this whole thing up in. Oh boy, I really don't know what I was thinking when I did that. Leaves us to be doing a bit of rework, which is unfortunate. There we go, number 9, camera. And now we can make sure it's the right way up. Cool. It'd be a bit nice if they had more than just the word camera on these to make it the right way up. Maybe if it was a slightly more rectangular design, but then again, at the same time, rectangular design wouldn't exactly fit the best with a camera. Let's go ahead and remove that. View, and then also take control, the remote control, and once again, replace that with view. Cool. And let's lock and unlock, that way the ship is now free floating. As I, what? Oh right, I'm in control, the remote control block right now. I'm like, my controls are completely reversed. Right. Okay, what are we going to do with thrusters, as I said, to make sure we can have a bit more hover when we're moving? And you see this, if memory serves, yes, there's actually a space here that should be somewhat protected from getting destroyed by anything as we drill down into a surface. Remember, we're going to have to not go really in a straight line. We need to have some excess space. What do I mean by that? I mean, if we just go straight in, this thruster might snag some stone and get destroyed. So as we mine, we're going to have to go ahead and spin in a bit of a circle. But for the time being, we're just going to install these here, where it should be somewhat safe behind the thruster and that drill. And then to weld these up, what we're actually going to go ahead and do is, I think we have enough room to, fly right around here. And we'll just let these welders do the job, and while they're connected to the whole station, it should pull all the inventory, making it a pretty quick job. So let's go ahead, hover ourselves over here, nice and quick-like. It's a pretty swift ship. I don't think we're going to have enough rotors to finish all these up, but at least it'll be, in the area where it's going to be getting worked on as we work on it. Oh my Lord God. Right. I got thrusters on the top that pushes down quicker than we would have otherwise expected. I keep forgetting that. Cool, line this up right about there. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and hop out, turn those welders on to see what components we are still missing, shall we? So, welders on. Ship is hovering upwards slowly. Oh, it's coming back down a bit. Oh, maybe we're not missing anything. Maybe we're not missing anything. Okay, that was cool. Let's go ahead and select those welders again, though. Shut them off. That way we don't kill ourselves while we go over there and check it out. And, yeah, they're all spinning. They're all working. We had everything we needed anyway. That is awesome news. Okay, so, next up, remember we're going to go get uranium. So let's just go to our GPS tab and see. Did we have... Aha, we had some uranium stored. I'm afraid that might have been that little asteroid, or blob. What, not blob, not asteroid. Stone that was just sitting there. But hopefully, no it isn't. That stone is over there. That must be that underground pocket we found. So let's go ahead, hop into here, fly ourselves away from that, and, whoa! We're getting an overload now. Son of a bitch. I should have remembered. Of course, adding more thrusters means more energy draw. Now, luckily, we can, without overloading, just hover forward and up, which means we're going to be fine. We just can't go forward, up, and to the right at the same time, or we get these overload symbols at the right. Yikes. There was even a dink from my phone. It was agreeing with me, apparently. I need to mute that, don't I? Alrighty, phone is muted. We're coming up on the uranium area. I'm going to shut off this light so we can actually see what we're doing. And we're just going to go ahead and slowly stop. Ooh, we did have a bit of overload. Gotta remember, if all else fails, just disable inertial dampers and hold space while being level, and that should keep us from crashing in theory. Not exactly the best solution, I know, but it'll have to do, I think. Alrighty, so let's move ourselves down gently enough. And what we're going to do is right-click and basically draw a huge open area just to get down to that uranium. And so we can start gathering it. You can see we're getting magnesium, silicon, and of course the wonderful uraniums that we need. So let's go ahead and get ourselves in position. Cool. And switch over to our remote control block, which for some reason is pointing us that way, but I'm pressing W and we're going the other way, so I don't know why it thinks that's the front of the ship when I'm using the remote control block. Use our camera, aim ourselves down. We are still hovering. Very good. I kind of wish the UI, it has the horizon line now when you're in a cockpit. Apparently not when you're in a, what do you call this? Remote control block. But unfortunately, it looks like you don't get, what is it? It's like a sphere that tells you how you're oriented. Like, are you aiming in this direction? Are you aiming straight down? You sort of get that with the gravity thing at the left, where you can use the gravity to tell, so now we know we're aiming pretty much straight down. But you aim to the left and look at the arrow. It's still all messed up in DirectX 11. The arrow gets all squishy squish. Very annoying. Let's also go ahead and just do tools, and it's odd that it has these on here when there aren't any on this ship. I guess we would connect to the larger structure, which was connected to our welding ship. But there we go. We're connected up now. We got the tool simply on the hotbar, so we can do the right click and slowly go ahead and blast our way into the earth and begin, well, not gathering stuff. We got to get down to the ore first. I think the best way to do this, instead of moving about like that, is just going to be to rotate slowly and just press W every now and again to go forward. And I suspect I'm going to cut forward right now unless something terrible happens. Alrighty, I think I've gotten down far enough So let's hop out of the cockpit really quickly. Oh no, we're still in the cockpit, of course. We got out of the remote control. You can see we've come down pretty far. Let's see. Yeah, we're in the uranium layer. It seems to be a very thin layer. We've accidentally mined through some of it. Unfortunately, since it is such an oddity, the way this is set up, I'm not sure our mining ship's going to be of too much use, honestly, in collecting it, because, well, it might be, I guess, if we were to rotate ourselves around so we're just hovering in here. But that means I need to, of course, be clearing the rocks that I'm clearing right now. It also occurred to me as I was flying down that maybe I didn't need this to actually spin like I was, considering I was right-clicking. These things are going to be destroying a lot more than they would otherwise. But I kept spinning anyway, just in case, because the last thing we want is, oh, I shouldn't need this spin in theory. And then, of course, you accidentally tear off a engine or something, which probably would have resulted in the destruction of the ship. So no dice there. I kept spinning just in case. There we go. I think we got enough space now that we might be able to lower one end of the ship down and start actually gathering the stuff. It means we're going to be gathering a shat ton of stone as well, unfortunately, but I mean, our current choices are, well, limited on how we're going to gather this stuff. We don't have some absolutely massive mega miner ship that's just going to be spewing stone out or tossing it into a furnace or something. Unfortunately, we can't just toss stone into a furnace. I still believe that stone should probably be refined into some material, and different planets and different types of stones should give you different materials in very, very small quantities. Alrighty, there we go, got that. Let's hop into our cockpit. We can do this from third person, should save us some grief, I'm thinking. And we'll just kind of gently now fly over like so. Awesome, leveled ourselves out. We look like we're alright. Let's go ahead and turn our lights back on. Oh, that's interesting. The light that was shining on the wall there when I was in the cockpit, I think it was the light from my actual character shining through the cockpit. Interesting. Let's do a F7 and F8, because I do have spectator mode enabled, even though I'm in survival mode, just for any quick checks. And let's see, if I fly my camera in here, can we actually see, yep, my character is sitting here with the lights shining out. What happens if I was to do an F9 and press J? No, I was thinking it might open my mask while sitting inside there. That would have been a bit interesting. Oh god, what have I done? Oh. F9, I went ahead and jumped out of the cockpit and was flying. Yeah, I pressed F and was still in F9 mode, so I was controlling my character. Alrighty, let's go ahead and we can start mining all this and try to dump out everything that we don't need. Hopefully this won't go too terrible. Let's do a number 2 so we're in control of those rotary things. Let's turn on L, so turn on our lights basically, and let's start mining. I'm not actually going to use a remote control, or I'm using the remote control, but I'm not going to use the camera. That way we can stay in third person here. But it means my controls are set, so I'm actually flying the way I'm facing right now. Alrighty, and let's start mining. I'm just holding left click for the time being, and ding, 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 ding. Should be gathering uranium now. A little tiny bit of uranium, as well as, of course, a mountain of stone, rather unfortunately. Oh, and our lights, I'm finding that from this angle you can see that the edges of our drills are pretty much in darkness, which means all I can see is a bit of a glare of my own body at this point, which is slightly unfortunate. There we go. Let's just keep mining here for a while. I think we might have run into a snag where our engines are hitting the ground a little bit there. Yes, they are. Hopefully they're not taking any damage. Let's actually stop real quick and just hop out, just to check those thrusters. Are you actually taking damage from bumping the ground every now and again? No, you're not. Good. Just double checking. The last thing we want is suddenly one of those to blow off. Then again, I don't know if this game really has slight damage often. It seems like, oh, you've hit something? Ah, no damage. Oh, you've hit something? Everything's dead. The whole universe has died and exploded. So it seems a bit sporadic at times. Also, I'm not sure if you can hear them in the background, but it sounds like a jet's been taking off for about 10 minutes now, which is a bit odd. I mean, since I'm down here and I'm in a bit of a talkative mood, I'm going to talk about a dream I had last night. I'd gotten up from an apartment I didn't recognize, but in the dream, of course, you know, sometimes you're in a place and your mind just goes, this is mine. So that was my apartment. I went to a class, like a college class or something, but it was in a small room as if it was almost at a high school or something, and my phone was dead. And I remember thinking, well, at least I don't have to worry about the EMP killing my phone. Because on that day, the big idea was that we were going to nuke North Korea. I was like, what? Okay, fine. And for some reason, as we nuked North Korea, the EMP blast, because for some reason I was in California, was going to be so strong that even out in California, there was going to be an EMP blast that would take out any electronics that were still online at the time. So, yeah, very, very odd dream. It transitioned from there to, well, I fell asleep in class, basically, which is very odd. It's an issue I have in dreams sometimes where I get tired in the dream and I wake up in real life, basically, so I was getting very tired and almost in and out of consciousness. But then the teacher's like, hey, Sage, big boom's coming, gotta shut off your phone. And I'm like, okay, And after it goes off, he's like, okay, everyone go. There's no reason to stay here. Because I guess we're supposed to stay there. But I was like, okay, well, if you're saying there's no reason to stay, I'm going to take you literally. And left like an asshat. Very, very odd dream. Ended up walking around town trying to find my mother. Asked her, did you guys get everything shut down at work? To which my grumpy mom responds, no, the thing froze and I couldn't get it shut down in time. She's a funny lass. I love me mom, though. Yeah, very odd dream. It transitioned from there just into more randomness, but, very, very odd start to a dream. Nuking North Korea. Scary thought, though. Scary thought. A lot of innocent people there. A lot of guilty people, too, I guess. But, let's be honest, there's a lot of innocent... I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of innocent people in North Korea. You got a totalitarian regime thing. I mean, you're gonna end up with a lot of innocent people that are just keeping their heads down, or, in those internment camp sort of things. And I believe North Korea has a few. Anyway, no more of that. Let's just skip ahead. Oh, wow. You see that? Everything just lit up a bit blue in here. Interesting. Very interesting. It's almost like we have a point light on. Oh, it's beautiful. God, it's gorgeous. I mean, is it middle day on the surface of the planet? I'm spectatoring. I'm cheating. I'm cheating. Yeah, it's middle day, kind of. Beautiful, though, down in the bottom there. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's go ahead and... There we go. I was like, oh, I pressed W and nothing happened again. Of course it is, because I put the cockpit in such an odd way. Let's go ahead and check our inventory here, guys and gals. And just see, we got a bunch of stone. Again, really wish you could click and drag this just to the drop thing and just throw it out of the top numbered, or alphabetically numbered to the top assembler, or not assembler, connector. So literally I just click and drag it and would have thrown it out that connector at the back. Unfortunately, there's no dice there. We'd have to empty it manually, but we also got some... iron. Oh, it's iron I put in my cockpit way earlier. Didn't pull it out, apparently. Oh, it's not piped in properly. Right. Some stone. Fair amount of uranium, though. What else? That's it? Just 15,000 uranium, roughly? Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's drop that stone and let's keep on chewing. Let's also check our reactor. 9. Or once we get to 5, we're most definitely heading back. Yeah. We'll probably fill up on our inventory first. Wow, and look at all this. These lazy drills have just, dumped 1,000,001 stone, or not stone, but other uranium onto the ground there. It's very unfortunate. Not at all what we want. Of course, now I'm going to be dropping these bigger ones down there, which should, in theory, be slightly easier to avoid than the little tiny pieces I'm actually going to go pick up in a second. In theory. Considering I'm dropping so many large chunks of stone now, it might not actually be too easy, because all the uranium is probably buried under that, and I've just made a mess of it. Yeah, I'm in trouble for myself. Frack. Okay, let's just try to slowly go through here. Really wish the manipulation tool was actually in the game fully. The devs have said, Merrick said in his roadmap that manipulation tool, sort of from Medieval Engineers, hopefully a little bit better, I guess, is going to be in here at some point. There is a mod that adds it, but I'm trying to do this, with as few mods as possible, so currently not using it, waiting for the devs to actually get the official version in. Come on. Oh, also, by the way, let's do an options. I believe it was display. Oh, game. Yeah, show crosshair. There we go. If it's still in, yay, there. I have a custom crosshair. Don't think I can actually put this up on the Steam Workshop because it overwrites a bunch of textures. It's one large texture that, I say large, one texture that has a bunch of different icons in it. So I've overwritten that one with just edited it in a little part of it, so I can't just upload just the crosshair. What it would do is replace a bunch of other stuff too, or at least it would give you my custom version of it all, which would be fine, because currently my custom version of all the other little buttons is the exact same standard ones, but it means that anytime there's an update to the game, you could end up in a spot of bother where basically they've changed those buttons to look completely different, and suddenly, well, my mod would basically break your whole UI. So at the time being, I'm not trying to put this up in the Steam Workshop. It's just my custom crosshair for myself currently. I've had a few different ones in the past, but this one is somewhat interesting. If we were actually to go and attack a dog with a gun, you would have seen that. You would see that. Sorry, just trying to get this uranium there. You would see that this thing is, it's got its own hit marker on it too. It's not just the X. It's like this big spurtle of odd geometric lines or whatever that pops out of it. Okay, fine, stupid stone. We'll move you over here. I did make a mistake, didn't I? We all saw that coming 100 miles away when I was tossing all the stone on top of what we're about to collect. I don't know why I thought that would work differently. Also, I'd like to point out something here. You see our flashlight aiming forward? If I aim down, it aims down, but it's not exactly shining on our feet anymore. I think it's actually attached to the character, as in the past. I don't know exactly. I guess it was attached to the character, but it was shining at a slightly different point. I've also noticed something weird. This. You see this? We got the two bits of light shining there, but if I walk all the way up, this sort of sphere of light appears. You can actually get to a point where there, the sphere is inside the wall, so it's backlighting the wall. So they apparently have two spotlights as well as a point light stuck to the front of your face. And I guess maybe the idea is the point lights to light up your face so it actually looks like, you know, you can see there, it looks like there's some light hitting your character. I think that's the point of the point light, but it is very annoying. You're like walking up next to something, it's like suddenly, oh god, the whole wall lit up. What's going on here? You know, left wall, they're just lighting up. Bit annoying, but nah, I don't like it. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at a bit annoying, honestly. If they put a point light in to light you up, it should have just been a smaller one. I'm going to argue. That's my argument against it. Let's go ahead and put some stuff in here and just keep picking this up, shall we? Inventory's always full. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha.